Ladies and gentlemen, a bunch of shit happened in movie news last week, and you probably missed it. I'm going to tell you what it was. Welcome back to the garage. Gerald here with you, of course, and this is an ongoing series that I've been doing. This is like the fourth or fifth week that I have done Shit You Missed, which are the most intriguing stories to me from the previous week in Hollywood, movie news, and the world of entertainment. Let's get started with possibly the most important news to ever drop in the history of movies ever, of all time, period, end of discussion. Tom Cruise will finally be receiving an Academy Award. It's from the Governor's Award. It's an honorary Oscar, but he's going to have the gold. The Academy is awarding Tom for, quote, his commitment to our filmmaking community, the theatrical experience, and to the stunts community, unquote. Look, guys, if there's any moral to this story, all you have to do is drive a motorcycle off of a cliff, hang from a speeding airplane in a canyon, and do all of this over the age of 60. If you do, the Academy is going to give you an Oscar. In addition to Tom Cruise, the Oscars are also going to be giving one to Dolly Parton, Debbie Allen, and Wynn Thomas. Of course, Dolly Parton is long overdue as well. Debbie Allen, you could say the same thing. Wynn Thomas, I was not familiar with, although it turns out production designer, most notably working with Spike Lee on several films of his, including Do the Right Thing, but never receiving an Academy Award. Now, the kind of sick, twisted irony here is that I still think Tom Cruise is going to win an Academy Award for his acting prowess. He's been nominated 3 times, of course, for Jerry Maguire, Born on the 4th of July, and most recently, even though it's been about 20 years, Magnolia from Paul Thomas Anderson. He's got a film already in production coming out next year from acclaimed filmmaker Iñárritu, and with Alejandro at the helm, there always could be some prestige in the mix. So we could be looking at early as a nomination next year for Tom Cruise, as the film is slated to come out in 2026. But nonetheless, it is long overdue for Mr. Cruise to be recognized for the contributions that this dude has given to the world of film, and I commend you, sir.
I don't know, it's kind of like we almost finish each other's sentences, kind of.
I mean, I don't think we've ever finished each other's sentences.
So Amanda Seyfried is an actress that I absolutely adore. I've been following her for a long time. She has a very illustrious resume. I almost love every single project that she's been involved in. Well, last week on Shit You Missed, I mentioned Dakota Johnson and her dropping some truth bombs about some issues going on in Hollywood and the state of Hollywood today. Amanda came out this past week in an interview, and she was addressing the kind of overdose of the Hollywood sequel and the IP. It was in reference to a question that she received about the upcoming DC release for Superman, of which, by the way, I'm very excited, from James Gunn. So she was commenting on Superman, but also the Jurassic World Rebirth film coming out and Fantastic Four, all opening in the same month, by the way, in July. She said, quote, "It's fantastic super park. It's 4 super parks. 4 dinosaurs, 4 super dinosaurs. I don't know. I will say there's a little bit of fatigue with sequels. I want original content. I think it's really scary and brave to do it. It's not scary and not brave to do sequels. It's just for money and it's frustrating. But then again, I would do Mamma Mia 3 in a heartbeat." So I like the self-awareness there that Amanda has. I would love to know what you think about this, because I tend to agree with her a little bit, but I also tend to let the realism kind of creep in. I mean, this is Hollywood. They're obviously trying to make money. They've kind of transitioned, at least the uppers in the offices and in the studios, the heads, have transitioned so much from being artists to being more businessmen and women. So they obviously want to do the right thing in terms of making the most money versus putting out the highest quality piece of art. It does kind of lend to what Amanda's saying here, and I tend to agree with her. I'm kind of over it, but at the same time, I'm there to see all of them. So just like she said about Mamma Mia, I'm kind of part of the problem, but I'm also waiting for somebody to come up with a solution. I would love to know what you think. So the 3 dudes that are credited with creating the Cobra Kai, the wildly successful TV show on Netflix based on the Karate Kid lore, have closed a deal to write a new installment for the Harold and Kumar franchise, with both John Cho and Cal Penn expected to return to their titular roles. I will say I am excited for this. There's always room for stoner comedy, and Cal and John were really, really the epitome of like just capturing that dick humor, but told from kind of a marginalized community, but still having some of the Americanized humor that we expect, and it was a nice blend of both of those things. I love those films, as stupid and silly as they are, so I'm really excited for this. Cobra Kai, I actually only watched the first season, but I did really enjoy that also, so I think this is a pretty cool story. I wanted to share it with you.
I love that shit. We're so high right now.
Glen Powell. That dude's hot, am I right? Woo! He's going to be starring in a currently untitled firefighter movie from director Ron Howard. Now, Ron Howard already did a firefighter movie. You guys might remember the film Backdraft back in 1991 starring Mr. Kurt Russell. So we'll have to see what the angle here is. Is it going to be another Backdraft, or God forbid, we were just talking about sequels and spinoffs. Is it going to be related to Backdraft in any way, or is it going to be completely original content? Not a lot of information is known about it, but after seeing Twisters and really seeing Glen Powell and frankly anything, he is, I think, possibly the next Tom Cruise. So if he's going to fight fires with his shirt off, I'm all about it. Oscar-winning filmmaker Kathryn Bigelow, one of my favorite directors, finally has a title for her upcoming White House thriller, and it's going to be called A House of Dynamite. It stars Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson, Jared Harris, Tracy Letts, Anthony Ramos, Moses Ingram, Greta Lee, Jason Clarke, and many others. It's going to come out in limited release this October, and it'll drop on Netflix on October 24th. Prime time for award season. Is this going to be a Hurt Locker type of situation for Kathryn Bigelow? Netflix is on my shit list. I've talked about that before on this series. I hate the limited window thing because I don't know if I'll ever get to see these things in the theater. I don't like that they're kind of playing the system in terms of having these things eligible for Academy Awards. But then on the flip side, I do love Bigelow, and she is one of the best we have working today. Could this be just another cool action movie that you throw on Netflix? Or is this going to be something that truly stands out as, like I said, another Hurt Locker type of situation or Zero Dark 30? We'll have to wait and see. It was initially in my original kind of on the radar for Oscar predictions, but it has since kind of fallen off the radar for me because of the Netflix thing, and I think they have too many players in the mix this year so far with movies like Jay Kelly and Frankenstein from Guillermo del Toro. So it is definitely a holding pattern for this movie, but Kathryn Bigelow has the prestige and the name with the Academy, and if she does show up this year, with James Cameron and Avatar's Fire and Ash most likely being there as well, we could have another Battle of the Exes the same year that we're getting the War of the Roses remake. Reality TV, anyone? There's a lot of news surrounding James Bond this week, and there's a couple stories I'm going to share with you. Directors that have been pitching their next James Bond movie idea include, listen to these names, Edward Berger, of course, from All Quiet on the Western Front, and most recently Conclave, both Oscar-nominated and Oscar-winning films. Denis Villeneuve, of course, well, really of a ton of shit that I absolutely adore, but most recently the Dune franchise. Edgar Wright, we're talking Shaun of the Dead, we're talking most recently Last Night in Soho. The dude knows what he's doing. Jonathan Nolan and Paul King are a couple of other names. They've been pitching ideas to Amazon MGM for a James Bond movie. Aaron Pierre, who most recently starred in another Netflix property, Rebel Ridge, has been rumored as being one of the frontrunners to replace Daniel Craig as the 007 James Bond. And if he gets to that part and it comes to fruition, he would actually be the first African American or person of color, frankly, cast in the role of James Bond, as it is typically not only a white male, but usually a British white male, which makes sense based on the source material, but nonetheless, a lot of consideration is being given to Aaron Pierre, and I think he's a phenomenal actor, so I'm on board with that casting. However, a lot of people think Aaron Taylor Johnson is the frontrunner, who is a British white male, and he is also very hot right now. He's most recently shown up this past week in 28 Years Later, a film that I was a little lukewarm on, but is making a ton of money at the box office, and he has proven to be a pretty substantial draw for movie studios. Even with a superhero kind of dud like Craven, he brought out some people that wanted to see him with his shirt off. And I've already told you guys how much I love Glen Powell with his shirt off, so some stuff's coming out on this video. When he was at a premiere for 28 Years Later this past weekend, a reporter asked Aaron Taylor Johnson, what his next project was going to be, and his publicist quickly pulled him away when that question was asked. And as he was walking away, he just said, "I don't think I can talk about it."
What are you doing next?
Thanks, guys.
Can't talk about it. What is it?
Could we be looking at the next 007? Could it be Aaron Pierre? Could it be somebody else that we're not even thinking of, or possibly an unknown? What do you think? Who do you think should be the next James Bond? Or really, do you care? And maybe a larger question is, why did the Academy have the fucking James Bond montage at the Oscars this past year? Does anybody still not have an answer for that? What was that? And I'm going to end on this one because it made me smile. Mr. Jim Carrey, one of my all-time favorites, an actor and a comedian that I literally grew up with in the 1990s, and I think is one of the best actors that we have, an absolute gem who can do comedy, can do drama, and everything in between. He finally got an award, guys. It wasn't an Academy Award, and it wasn't even a fucking nomination, as you know, if you follow the Oscars. Jesus. But he did receive the Kids' Choice Award from Nickelodeon this year for Best Movie Villain for his portrayal of Dr. Robotnik in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Now, you might think I'm poking fun at Jim Carrey, but I'm not. I'm actually lauding his performance, as I think it was extraordinary, because he captured a video game and cartoon character, and he literally brought that to life, and he encompassed and embodied that character. Not only bringing it to life for little kids, and to their amazement, to the wonderment of their eyes, but even to somebody like me who played a video game like Sonic and all the Mario Brothers games in the 80s and 90s, and never even for once thinking, oh, Robotnik and what he'll look like. And now I can't even think of Robotnik and not think of Jim Carrey. The kids voted on it, and Jim Carrey got it. I gotta be honest with you, he probably feels such fulfillment that these young kids voted him as their favorite villain versus the Academy, who shuns him at every fucking chance they get. Jim Carrey, I commend you. You're one of the best doing it, brother. I'll be back next week to tell you about more shit you missed. And the last thing I want to touch on is don't forget about channel memberships. I need money to keep this thing going out here in the garage. For as little as $2 a month, you can help me out, and you get all kinds of sweet, sweet perks, including some custom emotes that you can use in the comments section and on live streams. They include a emoji of my literal head with a beard. You're welcome. It also includes Timothy Chalamet, coming to some kind of realization. Mikey Madison holding her Academy Award. The mom from Parasite. I recently added Tom Cruise giggling like a fucking maniac. I'm sorry. I also have Ariana Grande sipping some Aquafina. I don't know. Toni Collette from Hereditary mothering like a mother, because she is. You also get to join members-only live streams and help me brainstorm my Oscar predictions at least monthly right now. And then, of course, as we get closer and closer to award season, it's going to be like every week, if not more, that I'll be updating my predictions. And I'm going to start that whole process on a members-only live stream where you guys can help me order everything and come up with it before it goes live here on the channel. If that's something you're into, please click join down below. You can read all the details, watch a little video, and join, and I would love you forever. It would mean the world to me. We've gotten a lot more members in the last couple of weeks, and it is so great, and you guys are the reason I do it, and I really, really do appreciate everybody that's joined so far. And if you're considering it, I appreciate you as well. And no matter what, make sure you subscribe, and thank you for watching this week's Shit You Missed. I will see you guys next time in the garage.